Chosen one. This divine message is coming to you at a moment when your soul is tired of waiting. Your heart is tired of hoping, and your mind is tired of asking the same questions again and again. Why me? Why now? Why this pain? Why this delay? Listen carefully, because this message is not random, it is intentional. It is arriving because you asked silently, you prayed quietly, and you endured patiently. Even when you felt unseen, you were never invisible every night. You stayed strong when you wanted to. Break every morning you woke up carrying burdens. No one noticed every time you chose faith over fear. It was recorded you thought nothing was changing, but transformation does not announce itself. It works silently within you. Understand this clearly. Your life has not been wasted. Your struggles have not been meaningless, and your tears have not been ignored. What you went through was not to destroy you. It was to strip away what was not aligned with your destiny. Some people had to leave because they could not go where you are being taken. Some doors had to close because what was behind them was limiting your growth. You kept asking for peace, but peace only comes after truth. And truth often hurts before it heals. You kept asking for abundance. But abundance requires responsibility, maturity, and inner strength that only pressure can build. You were delayed because if things had come earlier, they would have broken you. Timing is protection, rejection is redirection, silence is preparation, and waiting is refinement. You are not late. You are being aligned. You are not stuck. You are being repositioned. The season you are in is uncomfortable because comfort never creates evolution. You were pushed out of familiarity so you could step into purpose. You felt lonely because you were meant to discover your own power. You felt misunderstood because your depth cannot be explained to shallow minds. You felt tired because you were carrying more than most people ever will. But hear this now. You are closer than you think. The shift you have been praying for is already in motion, even if you cannot see it. Yet the moment you decided not to quit, something changed. The moment you chose to keep going, despite exhaustion, something unlocked the moment. You surrendered control. Something began to arrange itself in your favor. Do not measure your progress by external results. Measure it by how much stronger, wiser, and calmer you have become. Storms did not defeat you. They revealed you. Pain did not end. It shaped you. Waiting did not weaken you. It trained you. There are doors preparing to open that require the version of you that you are becoming now. There are blessings approaching that would have overwhelmed the old version of you. There are connections coming that will match your growth. Not drain it. Trust what is unfolding, even if it does not make sense. Yet clarity always arrives after commitment. Not before. You were never meant to understand everything. You were meant to trust. While walking when doubt speaks, remind yourself of how far you have already come when fear rises. Remember every time you survived what you thought you would not. When impatience whispers, remember that anything built fast collapses easily. But what is built with time lasts. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not unlucky. You are being guided, even when the path feels unclear. Even when the outcome feels uncertain, even when your heart feels heavy. Continue to move forward. Continue to believe. Continue to show up, because something greater than your current situation is already responding to your faith. The chapter you are in is not the end. It is the transition. The confusion is temporary. The pressure is purposeful, and the breakthrough is inevitable. What is meant for you will not miss you. What is aligned with you will find you, without force, without struggle, and without loss of peace. Until then, remain grounded, remain patient, remain faithful, because everything you endured is about to make sense. And when it does, you will realize that nothing was wasted, not a moment, not a tear, not a prayer. Your life is being rewritten, your energy is being restored, and your destiny is unfolding exactly as it should. And when that realization arrives, you will finally understand why you had to walk alone for so long. Why you had to learn patience the hard way, and why your soul was stretched beyond comfort. Because expansion never happens in ease. It happens when you are forced to rise above who you used to be. This phase of your life is shaping your perception, not just your circumstances. You are learning discernment, you are learning self-respect, you are learning how to protect your energy and how to walk away without guilt. You are learning that not every invitation deserves your presence, and not every battle deserves your reaction. This wisdom did not come from books. It came from heartbreak, disappointment, silence, and unanswered questions. You are becoming someone who no longer chases validation because you finally understand your worth. You no longer beg for clarity because you trust your intuition. You no longer fear endings because you recognize them as beginnings in disguise what once hurt you. Deeply now teaches you gently what once broke you, now strengthens you quietly. This is the evolution. No one talks about the inner shift that happens when you stop expecting others to save you and start realizing that you were always capable of saving yourself. This is where power is born. Not loud power, not forceful power, but calm, unshakable, grounded power. The kind of power that does not react to chaos but moves steadily toward purpose. You are no longer who you were when this journey began, and that is exactly why what is coming next will stay with you. This time, you will not lose it to insecurity. You will not sabotage it with fear. You will not shrink yourself to keep others comfortable. You will receive it with maturity, gratitude, and balance. Understand this, blessings are not just given. They are maintained, and you are finally becoming someone who can sustain what you once only dreamed of. The delay was necessary because if it had arrived earlier, it would have slipped through your hands. Now you are prepared. Now you are anchored. Now you are aligned. You may not see the full picture yet, but pieces are already moving. Conversations are being arranged. Opportunities are being positioned. Paths are crossing in ways you cannot predict. This is why you were asked to stay patient. This is why you were asked to trust without proof. This is why you were asked to keep going, even when motivation disappeared. Faith is not believing when things make sense. Faith is continuing when they do not. And you did that even on days you doubted yourself, even on days you questioned everything, you still showed up. And that consistency is what is opening doors now. The universe responds to alignment, not desperation. And you are finally aligned with who you are meant to become. Let go of the version of life you thought you needed, because something more fitting is replacing it. Release the timelines you created from fear. Release the comparisons that drain your confidence. Release the belief that you are not behind you, are on a path that required depth, not speed. Others may reach milestones faster, but they will not have your resilience, your awareness, your clarity, or your strength. Your journey was designed to build character, not just success, and that character will protect everything you receive next. You will notice that things begin to flow without force. You will notice that clarity replaces confusion. You will notice that peace becomes more valuable than approval. This is the sign that you have crossed an internal threshold, and once that happens, external reality must follow. Because life mirrors inner state. You did not come this far to remain uncertain. You did not survive what you survived to live small. You did not heal just to return to old cycles. You are stepping into a phase where choices matter, where boundaries matter, where intention matters. This is where you stop reacting and start creating. This is where you stop surviving and start directing your life. Consciously, this is where you understand that everything you experienced was preparation, not punishment, training, not torture, alignment, not loss. Stay aware, stay grounded, stay open. Do not rush what is unfolding. Do not underestimate what is rearranging itself quietly. Do not doubt your progress just because the results are not loud. Yet some of the most powerful shifts happen silently beneath the surface, and soon you will look back and realize this was the moment everything began to change. Because from this point forward, everything begins to respond to the version of you that has finally awakened. You are no longer moving from fear. You are moving from awareness. You are no longer reacting to life. You are consciously choosing how to engage with it. And this is where momentum quietly builds. You may not hear applause, you may not see instant rewards, but internal stability is forming. And that stability is more powerful than any quick success ever could be. You are learning to pause. Before speaking, to observe, before committing, to feel, before deciding. And this awareness is saving you from repeating cycles that once drained you. The past no longer controls you. It informs you without defining you. Lessons have replaced wounds. Clarity has replaced confusion, and discernment has replaced blind trust. This is the stage where your intuition sharpens because you finally stopped ignoring it. You finally stopped explaining yourself to people who were never trying to understand you. You finally stopped shrinking to fit environments that could not hold your depth, and because of that, alignment has begun. People, situations, and opportunities that resonate with who you are now will naturally gravitate toward you, while anything misaligned will fade without resistance. Do not mistake this quiet phase for stagnation. It is integration. You are integrating everything you learned so you can move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. This is how lasting change happens, not through chaos, but through calm realization, not through force, but through clarity. You are beginning to value peace over approval, direction over speed, and truth over comfort. And this shift is protecting your future more than you realize. The decisions you make now will echo for years because you are no longer choosing from lack. You are choosing from self-respect. You are no longer afraid of being alone because you discovered that solitude sharpened you. You are no longer desperate for validation because self-trust grounded you. You are no longer rushing outcomes because patience matured you. And this maturity is what attracts sustainable success. There is a difference between getting something and being ready for it. And readiness is what you cultivated during the waiting. This is why you will not lose what is coming this time. You will not misuse it. You will not overextend for it. You will not abandon yourself to keep it. You will meet it as an equal, grounded, centered, and clear. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos has decreased. That is not weakness, that is evolution. You may notice that certain conversations feel draining. Now that is not arrogance, that is awareness. You may notice that you prefer fewer connections with more depth. That is not isolation, that is alignment. You are refining your life, and refinement always requires release. Let go without resentment, move forward without bitterness, appreciate what was learned without clinging to what ended. Everything served a between purpose, even what hurt, even what confused, even what delayed you. The growth you gained cannot be taken from you. The clarity you earned cannot be erased, and the strength you built cannot be undone. You are stepping into a phase where your actions are intentional, your energy is protected, and your direction is clear. This is where progress becomes consistent, not dramatic but dependable, not rushed but rooted. You are learning to trust process over pressure and purpose over performance. There will still be challenges, but you will meet them differently, with composure instead of panic, with strategy instead of impulse, with confidence instead of doubt, because you are no longer trying to prove yourself. You are simply being yourself, and that authenticity carries authority without effort. Remember this. You do not need to announce your growth, it will be felt. You do not need to defend your boundaries, they will be respected. You do not need to chase what is aligned, it will arrive naturally. Continue to move with integrity. Continue to listen inward. Continue to choose what supports your peace. The path ahead is opening step by step, moment by moment, decision by decision. And as you walk it, you will realize that everything you once feared, losing was simply making room for what you were meant to hold. This is not the end. This is the steady beginning of a life built with awareness, strength, and quiet confidence. And as this unfolding continues, you begin to sense a deeper calm settling within you, a calm that does not depend on circumstances or approval or outcomes, but rises from an inner certainty that you are finally aligned with your own truth. This is not the loud confidence that seeks attention. This is the quiet assurance that does not need to explain itself. You have reached a stage where your inner voice has become clearer than external noise, where your decisions are guided by discernment rather than desperation, and where your sense of self is no longer negotiable. This shift did not happen overnight. It was carved slowly through endurance, through reflection, through moments of deep discomfort that forced you to confront who you were becoming. You no longer fear uncertainty the way you once did, because you understand that certainty is built through action, not prediction. You no longer cling to expectations because you learned that attachment often blinds you to better possibilities you know. Longer define success the way the world taught you, because you realize that fulfillment cannot be measured by comparison, but by alignment. You are beginning to live with intention, choosing what nourishes you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and releasing what drains you without apology. This is growth that cannot be rushed because it changes the foundation on which everything else stands. You are not here to repeat old patterns. You are here to rewrite them consciously and every day. You practice awareness. You are reinforcing a new identity, one that is rooted in self-trust, clarity, and responsibility. You understand now that healing does not mean forgetting the past. It means learning from it without carrying its weight. You understand that strength does not mean never feeling pain. It means not allowing pain to dictate your direction. You understand that patience is not passive waiting, but active preparation. This is why your perspective has expanded. You see beyond surface level interactions, beyond temporary emotions, beyond impulsive reactions. You are beginning to operate from a place of observation rather than assumption, from understanding rather than judgment. And this awareness is shaping the quality of your life more than any external achievement ever could. Relationships feel different now because you no longer seek completion through others. You seek connection through wholeness. Work feels different now because you no longer chase validation. You pursue contribution, and growth goals feel different now because you are not proving your worth. You are expressing your potential, and this internal realignment is quietly reorganizing your external reality. Opportunities that once felt out of reach begin to feel accessible, not because they changed, but because you did. You are approaching life with steadiness rather than urgency, with curiosity rather than fear, and with commitment rather than hesitation. You recognize that discipline is an act of self. Respect that boundaries are an expression of clarity, and that consistency is more powerful than intensity. This understanding allows you to move forward without burning yourself out, without losing yourself in the process, without compromising what matters most. You are no longer rushing toward outcomes. You are building systems, habits, and mindsets that support sustainable progress. You are learning to listen to your body, to honor your limits, and to pace yourself in a way that preserves long-term well-being. This is wisdom earned, not taught, and it is shaping a future that is grounded, resilient, and intentional. There will be moments when doubt resurfaces because growth is not linear. But now you know how to respond without spiraling. You pause. You reflect, you realign, and you continue. You do not abandon yourself when things get challenging. You stand with yourself, and that loyalty is transformative. You are becoming someone who follows through, someone who adapts without losing direction, someone who evolves without losing identity. This consistency builds trust, not only within yourself, but with others, and with life itself. You begin to notice synchronicities, moments that affirm you are on the right path, subtle confirmations that your efforts are being met halfway. You no longer dismiss these signs. You receive them with gratitude and grounded optimism, understanding that progress often whispers before it speaks. Clearly, you remain open without being naive, hopeful without being unrealistic, and determined without being rigid. This balance allows you to navigate complexity with grace. You understand that clarity often emerges through movement, not overthinking, and that confidence grows through practice, not perfection. You permit yourself to be a work in progress without using that as an excuse to remain stagnant. You hold yourself accountable while extending compassion, and this combination creates momentum that is steady and reliable. You are cultivating a life that reflects your values, not your fears. And this alignment brings a sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on applause or milestones. It comes from knowing that your choices are congruent with who you are becoming. And as you continue forward, you carry this awareness into every area of your life, refining, adjusting, and evolving with intention. The path ahead may still challenge you, but you are no longer intimidated by growth. You welcome it with humility and resolve, knowing that every step taken with consciousness compounds into a future that is authentic, grounded, and meaningful. And this journey continues not as a destination to reach, but as a way of living present, engaged, and aligned.